You are listening to the All Metal Mode podcast with your host, Mike Hare. Join me and Gypsy Jules every Monday night and Matt Hoffman and myself every Tuesday night. Listen in as we discuss a wide range of metal detecting and related topics such as technical, equipment, talk to guests, and so much more. Sit back, join in on the drinking game. For those new to the show, every time I say relic machine, you need to do a shot. These are the rules. I didn't make them up. We hope you enjoy this episode of All Metal Mode. If you're in the market for a shovel or hand digger, check out PredatorTools.com. Everything is made in the USA by George Leshy, using only American-made products. George also heat treats each piece individually, ensuring that you get the best tools on the market. They're great friends of mine and of the show. Tell them I sent you. Boy, I messed that up a little bit. That's all right. If you're looking for your first detector or your next detector, you can contact myself or Brian Harvey. Not only do we carry all the major brands of detectors, we also carry a large assortment of accessories from coils, bags, shovels, anything you can think of. You can always call me at 937-414-4578, or you can contact us through the website or the Diggers Den Metal Detectors Facebook page. I prefer calls because I like talking to my customers, but Brian, if you message through the page, Brian is on that. I have tried to beat him to a response, and it's happened like one time. And that guy is on it and very helpful, great guy, and our guest tonight. So yeah, good times. Give us a call, get hold of us, we'll hook you up. So before we get started, I want to tell a little story, and I don't want to sound like I hope I can do this in a way that doesn't make me sound like I'll just get into it. Do you ever have one of those days where you're just kind of down or disappointed or something? It takes so much work to do a show, and so much behind the scenes going on, and sometimes it can get a little bit aggravating or here's what I'm getting at. I started the new UK show, and like the numbers are real low. I'm not getting any responses. It's just slow, and I'm okay with that, and I know that. And look, if I can reach a handful of people and they enjoy the show, I'm happy. But I'm just not getting much feedback there, I'm getting a lot of help from Archaeology and Metal Detecting Magazine, tons of help. But like Sunday's show, I got to talk to several people at Detective All, and most of my listeners were from the United States. And I want to do that show because there's nothing out there for them as far as a podcast. And I thought that was a real shame, and it's taken me months to get it together and decide to do it and work my schedule. I do it at 2 p.m. Anyhow, I'm making a short story long. So I've been I'd say a little bit down, a little disappointed. Not meaning that I'm not going to keep going straight ahead and it'll come to. But I had a guy call me today, and I'm just going to tell you his first name so he knows who it is. Todd gave me a call. I'd never spoke to him before, and he listens to the show, the All Metal Mode show, and just really hit it off. And this is what I love about the hobby. Him and I talked and talked. I talked his ear off like I do anybody that calls me. And I ended up having a second conversation with him. Matter of fact, just got off the phone with him a little bit ago. And it's just, when you meet people like that are so nice and so cool, it made my day. And he really got me excited about some things. I'm currently working on something that is really exciting for me anyhow. And he's working on something. He's had an idea in his head and told me about it, and it's brilliant. But anyhow, we just had this great conversation. And I just wanted to say, hey, Todd, thanks for cheering me up. Thanks for making my day brighter. Look forward to talking to you again. Hey, Matt, what's up?
Oh, a bunch of this and a bunch of that, and some metal detecting in the mix.
Hey,
lots of good stuff.
I'm really tired of hearing about it. So right off the bat, let's get out what you're so excited to talk about. Let's just get that over with.
Okay, so I dug a legit, and when I say legit, I mean a lot of people come up with these grand stories of digging ridiculous deep coins, and half of those I'll take to the fact that they don't know how to use a proper measurement when they dig stuff. However, I was out at a place last night that I've dug out there many a times, and I've pulled a lot of silver and a lot of cool stuff off the property. But with the recent rain, I dug a legitimate 14-inch Merc last night, and let me tell you, when I say that thing was down there, it was down there. That was fortunately for me, I was running with the CTX 3030 with the large coil, which is a 17-inch coil, and full sensitivity, two-tone. Recovery deep was on, recovery fast was off. And I just barely heard that thing. But when I went across it, I'm like, man, that is sounding pretty good for what I'm hearing. And couldn't really hit it the other direction, but I thought for sure my target ID was like spot on, reading a little low, but exactly what I expect out of those bigger ones with some of the other settings I'm running on that machine. And I'll tell you, I started digging, and I wish I would have had my phone on me, but I had left it in the car because it was kind of sprinkling out, and I didn't take the chance of I can't afford to ruin my phone, so I unfortunately left it in the car. But man, I started digging, and I got down there, and probably about the first. Now I will say this: it was on top of a baseball field on the infield, where the first 6 to 8, maybe 10 even inches there are sand, and I've never had an opportunity to dig in those spots before because it's all grown over with grass because they don't use it no more. But it's usually so dry that you'll never be able. It's compacted. You just can't dig down there with unless you busted out a big huge shovel. But so I got down there, and sure enough, man, I flipped that thing, and I saw it flip up out of the spot and the little indentation on where it was sitting down in this super black soil, and man, was it down there. But like I said, it was only a 1942 Merc, but that by far, that exceeds my most deepest find by a solid 2 inches. And, I was jumping around like a maniac when I pulled one out at 12 inches last year and out of that same park. And, it was pretty impressive. So regardless if anybody else is excited, I'm impressed myself.
No, I think that's really cool. And I believe you. I've hunted with you, so I'll vouch that if you say it was that deep, I believe you. Now, there are some people that, hey, Will Mercer, he's from Northeast Ohio. He's up by you in Cleveland, Matt.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's actually, we're gonna try to call him here in a few minutes. He's got a really good thing he wants to share. I don't know if we can do it with Skype, but we'll give it a few minutes and see if we can call him in. But yeah, I've heard of some really crazy depths that I just, I had a guy telling me that with his $400 detector, he could dig dimes all day long at 14 inches, 15 inches. And I didn't have the heart
I don't know.
I didn't have the heart to tell him it's not happening. You get a tape measure out, and I guarantee you're not at 14 inches, 15 inches.
I mean, even some of the best ground, that's crazy to.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's one thing. When I hear stuff like that, I just don't believe it. And I'll tell you what, Mike, that I could barely pinpoint that coin in the ground. I mean, and normally if I can just pick something up, I'll be able to pinpoint it good enough. And that's why I dug such a big plug to start with, because I mean, I couldn't tell exactly where it was at, because it was just so far down there. But yeah, it was. I like I said, I dug a few more holes after that, talking myself into ones that I knew weren't good, but I was convinced that at that point that, I don't know, I talked myself into a few pieces of iron and some other really deep nonsense. But, that's by far the deepest coin I have deepest coin or silver coin, for that matter, I've ever dug. And, like I said, it was on a spot that I haven't really hit before, because I just never had the opportunity to dig there, just because it's always so dry. But with a little bit of rain and some time, we made that happen.
That's very cool. Let's we better get Brian on before he falls asleep. What's up, Brian?
I ain't doing nothing, man. What I tell you I was gonna do? Let y'all talk it out.
Brian doesn't like to talk a whole lot. It took some bribing and stuff to get him on. I finally broke him down and made him feel bad. Like, man, nobody else. I can't get anybody else. Come on. Mm-hmm.
Take one for the team, man.
Right.
All good.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, we were having a really good conversation right before we went on air. I'd like to continue that. I thought that was pretty funny about your old MXT and stuff. The first thing is,
oh yeah,
Brian is hard on equipment. Tell us about
super
that,
hard,
Brian.
yeah.
Tell us about that.
About the MXT or just everything?
In general.
I don't know. I'm just an efficient person, I just like to cram it all in the truck, and it needs to be there when I need it, so it gets jammed in there and doors shut on them, and you got to kind of, how you see the movies with people with a closet overloaded, and they got to kind of ram the door shut, on your metal detector. And I was one of them type people that I just like for everything to be in there, so it tends to get compressed.
Now tell us about the old MXT.
Yeah. My MXT was probably one of my first relic hunting machines, my decent ones anyway. And, it had the DX1 probe, the inline probe, and the D2 coil and all the little fancy stuff on it. That was my first real, Civil War relic hunting, just finding just tons of Civil War relics with it. And a lot of times I dragged my young boy out. He was probably 6 or 7 about that time. I would pull him through the sticky briars and all that, and we'd dig, Civil War buttons and bullets and stuff. So it's got emotional attachment, but it ended up clonking out on me, and, I got inside of it and just made it worse. So it died, but, it's in the closet. It's sentimental. I like to one day at least, bring it back to life, and
I'm surprised you don't.
More relevant at some point.
I'm surprised you don't have an MXT All Pro now.
Yeah, I don't know. I like my MXT. I like my original one. It's got. It's my friend. It's my familiar.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna do another MXT, it's gonna be that one. I'm gonna buy old MXT and gut it and throw it in there and bring it back to life. Shoot some lightning to it,
That's funny. We were talking how the conversation got brought up before the show was we were talking about how hard it is to get rid of detectors and that we've grown attached to, and I was saying how I've got an AT Pro that I haven't even used. I traded it for a used detector, and it's hung in on my wall, and I haven't even used it yet. But I can't seem to part with it, and we're not even best friends yet or anything, you know. And I know Matt's the same way. I know you sold a couple. What was it? It's kind of like selling off your.
I know. It's like, it's like a part of you dies when you sell a detector, man. I'm telling you, it was the best and worst thing I've ever done in my life. I sold an E-Track and I sold an AT Pro, and my shoulder was just blown out. And, since then I acquired the machines. Well, not the same ones, but reacquired those machines. But, it was like, I was heartbroken when I sold it, but it was like, if my shoulder's going to get any better, I got to quit. I got to stop detecting. And, was planning to get some shoulder surgery, although that ended up working itself out. And now my shoulder's like top notch. So, but yeah, it's tough. I know the feeling. It's devastating.
Yeah.
I felt I couldn't be I couldn't sell detectors for a living because I would just hoard them all. I would keep them. I wouldn't ever sell them.
It's hard. I've got a problem.
Yeah. How many do you?
I've got two laying on the bed with me right now: GPX and a Macro Cruiser.
Oh, that's funny. How many detectors do you have, Brian, that you use?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've got. I don't know, at least 10 laying around here somewhere. I'm on my vintage though. I got some vintage stuff, and all the way down to a Metro Tech.
Really?
Yep, I got old Metro Tech. I couldn't get it to pick up on a car door, but I got it.
Couldn't let it go, huh? That's funny.
Yep.
That's funny. Yeah, Steph thinks I have a problem. And, hey, she's got a closet and racks and hangers, door hangers full of shoes. Let me have my metal detectors,
Yeah, that's my wife. Lady. She's a shoe head.
Right.
Shoes and purses.
Yep. So, but
yeah, I think everybody should have at least a detector for every day of the week.
Right.
Exactly.
Just in case, and
Yeah, it's different tools for different jobs is what I say.
Yep, exactly. Each one of my main machines has its own use, and it's just, I don't know, the dais, I'll use that and home sites, and the T2, after I clean out a place, I'll take the T2 in there, and the Macro Cruiser, it's good in home sites and water, and the GPX, that's a pulse machine, so it's good up in the red dirt for that deep stuff. So, yeah, they all have their place.
Yeah, for sure. They do.
It's very much like having, and I tell my wife this all the time, and I've said it before, it's like having, if you go fishing a lot, if you're out fishing for bass or crappie or bluegill or catfish or carp or, walleye or perch, like, you need different equipment and different stuff for different, and different terrains and different lakes. I mean, so, to just, it helps. I mean, it gives you every advantage you could possibly have by, having multiple machines and different stuff available, to use at your disposal. So, yeah, that's how I justify it, at least.
Hey, man, our wives aren't listening, so I don't even know why we making excuses.
Mine is. Mine's in the chat. Mine's in the chat watching like a hawk, man. Done caught me flirting with... Yeah, done caught me flirting and everything. I'm telling you, Josh Kimmel that does Beyond Sight and Sound every Sunday and Wednesday, his wife's in, and... that woman can cook now. I'm telling you, she can cook. We got some bread off of her a while back, and oh Lord, me and Monkey tore up some bread. But yeah. So real quick, let's kind of pause here a second. I'm gonna try to call Will, and he had a really good thing he wanted to talk about real quick and about the show last night. So let's see if we can get him into Skype. Are you guys still there?
Yep.
Nope.
Nope. I'm saying.
Hey, Mike.
All right, we got you, Will.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good. Nice to have you
Pretty
on.
good. How about yourself?
I'm not too bad.
Tell.
A couple little tips here. I talked to Michael. Oh, go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. I was just going to say, tell us these, give us these tips.
Well, let me give you a little bit of a background here, if you don't mind. I don't want to take up all your time here.
Hey, we're in no rush. Brian's not important.
Okay.
Hell no.
It was probably about 2010, 2011. My grandfather passed away, and even before that, I was always into a little bit of history and into coin collecting a little bit. But when he passed away, he left me his coin collection, and my grandmother also passed along a bounty hunter. Back then, I had no idea what a metal detector was. I was like, a bounty hunter, okay. So, just one day off of anything, took it out in the backyard and I sparked it up. I found the usual, a couple bottle caps, full tabs, and just the usual clad and everything like that. But since then, after doing a little research, and I got that little metal detecting fever. My first machine after that was the Fisher F4, and I totally graduated. I went ahead and got the Fisher F75, got a little deep in it. And I actually took a 4-year hiatus. I got married, had kids, all that thing, kind of put on a little bit of a back burner.
Yeah.
But most recently, I got the AT Max.
Okay.
I've been very happy with it so far. But not to make a long story short, but here, one of the tips that I found is like, we're always looking for some kind of research opportunity. I mean, we've all done historic aerials, historic map work. I'm sure we've all been to, just about everything you think of. But one of the things I found is if you go on Facebook, it's kind of hard for some people to do that. But, I go on there and find, you can find groups on there. You can find, like, some from your hometown or towns that are around. Like me, I found one that's like, I'm from Parma, Ohio. It's a suburb of Cleveland. And, you can go on there and you can find there's a bunch of groups that's like, I'm a Parma kid, or, people who grew up in whatever city, blah, 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 blah. And when you go on there, you could ask questions. Like, there's still, like, not to make any kind of offense, but you go on there and you find the old heads and everything like that are still, online savvy. And I went on there and I found one. It's called I'm a Parma Kid. And I started asking, where's the old swimming holes, or where's the old hangouts, things about that nature. And, I got a bunch of replies. And they started replying like, this is where we swam, this is where we hung out. And, I knew a couple of them. I knew a couple spots that were, known to people. And then they started enlightening me to about 10 or 12 spots that I had no idea was. And then I started looking at them on Google Maps, and, you can see that some of them have been developed. I mean, we're in those times where some of them have been developed. But there's a few of them where, it's just a creek bed, or, it's just the back of some park somewhere where, nobody even thinks to hunt now. And I think Facebook is a pretty good tool these days. If if you can get on there and look at it, you can find stuff in your hometown where people are more than willing to answer your questions of where people used to hang out or swim or things like that nature.
Yeah, that's really cool. I'd never thought about that. That's a good one. Do either one of you guys use that? Have you ever tried that, Matt?
I do.
Did we lose Matt?
No, I'm sorry. I have never. No, I'm here. No, I've never used Facebook so much as a tool for tracking down, especially local spots in history of and stuff like that. But it's a good idea. I try and stay off of Facebook sometimes, just because I find myself wanting to add comments to a lot of stuff that I see posted that it fires me up, and so I got to control myself. But no, that's a great idea. And in fact, I'll tell you, this is a kind of side story real quick. I was I had to stop. I was sending a wireless module back to MineLab that needed to be looked at and replaced. Which, thank you, MineLab. I appreciate you getting that back to me in a speedy process. But anyhow, I ran into a guy there. There was a guy in the FedEx store or whatever, and he had a book, and it was local history of Perry Township, which is just a town right over from the city I live in. And so I got to talking to him, and here they're restoring a school and stuff, and I got his number and everything. And I said, hey, if you that school you guys are restoring, if you want someone to come out there and do some detecting, I'd be more than happy to come out, do detect, and anything I find, I'd be more than happy to donate to you guys for your historical preservation, basically, that they were doing and setting up, boxes and stuff. And so I got to get back in touch with that guy, but a real nice gentleman I spoke with. And, I find a lot of opportunities just in randomly talking to people, just myself. Like I just seem to like to start conversation. I got a problem like Mike. I just like talking. So, excuse me. And, so, I find that always has been very useful. But no, that's a great idea. Is maybe look for some groups locally that some of the older people might have some good information that I know nothing about.
Oh yeah, well definitely, because I've talked to people on there that they're with this internet age now. I mean, you get people from various groups. I mean, I've talked to people that are 70, 80. I mean, well into their 80s now, and like they're posting on there these water holes or these swimming spots or these hangout spots that none of us have even known. I mean, we got tons of creeks in my neighborhood, and they're bringing up spots that nobody even thinks to go hang out at, and it's just those are spots I'm going to hit up now, just because
Right.
Nobody knows about them. I mean, they're it's a dying age. I hate to say it that way, but it is.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you one thing that's nice, at least in the area that I live in, is though there's a lot of stuff that's changed over the years and a lot of things have been developed, there's still a lot of properties in areas of the city that are more or less original as to how they've been for years. So when sometimes like you go down to like Columbus, Ohio, and literally that whole area is just being developed at such rapid pace that any history that was there is sure to be lost.
Exactly.
Because it's being developed with so it's a shame to see that in a lot of places. So that's the good news, at least in my area, is that I really should take advantage of finding any opportunity. And there's one guy that I run into a few times. His name is Jerry, that this park I would hunt, and I got talking to him, and he gave me a lot of background and history on stuff that used to be down in that area when he was a little kid and everything. So I can see that being very beneficial.
Hey, I want to say too, real quick. Bill Marsh brought up a really good point, and me and Gypsy completely forgot to talk about yesterday. YouTube videos. I've seen videos of people traveling around. We got some crazy noise in the background. Who's that? Is somebody on a forklift?
Not me.
Nope, I'm about to get a.
We got some crazy noises in the background. Look at YouTube for like local history. I watched a series, town I lived in, Ohio. A guy would go to all these different places, and that's a very good point, Bill. I'm glad you brought that up. But yeah, look at YouTube too for your local town. You might be surprised what you come across.
I know there's some places that. Okay.
Go ahead, Matt.
Go ahead. I was gonna say there's some places like in my area and a couple areas around me, and usually they're abandoned and forgotten houses, and a lot of photography type people tend to start these groups. So if you're in that area, just kind of look up keywords abandoned and forgotten, and it could very well bring up something. But we have one here, and all the houses they post up, it makes me salivate.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Never did that.
Yeah, because even myself, I found if you go on YouTube, I just type in my town. I found a video from it says like circa 1928. Somebody obviously redid it, but you can find a whole history in my town. It was like a 20-minute video showing just all the hot spots and where people hung out and where things happened, where City Hall changed, where people would be gathering. I mean, it's just simple tools like that, like YouTube, Facebook. I mean, we use all these tools, and it's just sometimes the easiest ones are right there in front of your face. You just got to look for them,
Mm-hmm. I get so tired of Facebook and stuff sometimes and social media, but there really is a lot of stuff to be learned. You know, a lot of research and stuff is right there on Facebook, and of course YouTube and other stuff too. But yeah, great.
And you say you're up in Parma, huh?
Yeah, I'm up in
here it
Parma.
goes. Here it goes.
Oh yeah. I encourage anyone in the state of Ohio to call me at any time.
Well, my thing is, I'm right there in the heart. I'm in Parma, but I'm right there in the sweet spot. Like I got Brecksville and Independence and Valley View. There's a lot of colonial stuff going on right down there at the Canal Way because I'm right close to the canal. And there's a couple sweet spots I found. You got Hink. I don't know if you're too familiar, but like Hinckley, Royalton. I mean, there's a lot of farms.
Oh yeah.
And, I found a couple sweet spots up there. And then I'm a little sour. I found a spot up. I found a little spot up in Hinckley. It was an old farmhouse, old barn. I found a barber and a 1930s World's Fair token, a couple other little items. And then next thing I know, the real estate was sold, and some people started developing on it, and I didn't get permission after that. And I'm a little sour about that because I got on it about once or twice, and it's like, but what are you gonna do, right?
That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm about an hour south of the Cleveland area, so I live in a city called Massillon, west of Canton, Ohio. So.
Right. We'll have to connect, though. We'll
yeah, man.
What's going on? 'Cause I got a couple sweet spots up here, and I mean, I'm sure we can share a couple spots. So.
Oh yeah, I just I hunt a lot with I got a good buddy Mark that I hunt with quite a bit, and me and him go quite a few places, and I've been starting to hunt a lot more with a buddy I've recently met up with, Tim, and some other people here and there, and so I'm trying to branch out a little more, and I'm no stranger to door knocking. If there's a place that looks good, I almost can guarantee you I can get permission at it. So, keep that in mind.
You probably got that. You probably got that charisma and charm. That that goes.
No.
I don't know what it is.
I know what it. Hold on, let me jump in here. He's got that. I'll talk to you so long I'm going to wear you out. You're going to say yes. Go detect so I can shut my door and you'll quit talking. That's what he's got.
No.
Well, here's the hard thing for me, real quick, because I'm 34 years old. So I'm, like when I walk up the door, and I was in the military, so I got like some tattoos on my arm. I got the whole sleeve thing going. So I go up the doors and start knocking. They look at, I'm sure we've all been there. They look out the window, they see me standing there by myself. They're like, yeah, I'm not answering that door, So, I mean, I've got my fair share of permissions, but hold on. You know how it is. It's hard going sometimes.
Hold on, I'm 6'3", 330 pounds with a beard down the middle of my chest. Don't even talk to me about like knocking on doors and first reactions.
I know.
Hey, I ain't doing much better in the looks department myself either. But let me just say it. I don't know. I talk to a lot of random people, and I don't know if I saw myself at knocking on someone's door, or let's say if I was at the door answering the door and I was out there, I'd be like, oh boy, I don't know, do I want to answer with this guy out there or not? But I don't know. I don't know. I'm fair, I'm nice, and I'm honest with people, and I think that goes a long way.
All right.
I'm just a big sweet teddy bear, and they realize that real quick.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
No, I know. I try to be as nice as possible. The same thing, I tell them, we're as clean as possible. I'm not gonna. I'm not going to mess anything up. But, all right, guys, it was great talking to you. I got to get running here, though. But
hey,
I appreciate
thanks for
letting me call in tonight.
Absolutely. We appreciate it. Great ideas. Thanks, Sheriff.
All right, good night, guys.
Good night.
Hey, have a good one.
Later, Will.
I was just getting ready to say, was Brian drunk and passed out? He
got quite good, man. Y'all, hey. Y'all Ohio boys was doing your thing, man. I was just sitting back listening. Make my easy.
Hey, Brian,
it's so much.
Go ahead.
Listen, though, it's so much more fun when you can go out detecting with people that maybe and build some nice relationships with them and get to different spots in different areas, and then like that. Like I was out last night. Like I said, that 14-inch dime, man. No one got to see that except for me, and you just have to take my word on it, And that's, I wish, I would have been filming, or I wish that my buddy Mark would have been there, because I know that would have blown his mind. But so that's why I enjoy getting out with other people, so you can verify your story, so it's not just Hoffman said he dug a 14-inch dime. Okay, whatever. Sure. But yeah,
we're gonna make fun of you all the time for that. Remember that time you told us he dug it? Yep.
When I first got into it, I was a loner, because really, when you're a newbie, nobody really wants to give you the time of day, So I spent years pretty much just finding the spots on my own, just kind of digging just doing my thing out there and just enjoying the peacefulness. I bring my kid along with me every now and then, but then it got to a point where it was just, I don't know, it just got kind of lonely. And then I started hunting with more people, as I got more into the hobby, and now it's like, if I don't have somebody with me, I'm like maybe 2 or 3 hours at the most. And I used to just, be out there all day, but I don't know. It's funner when you got people with it to share the, those little moments, like the 14-inch dime, something to reflect on.
I agree, but I also hunt alone very well. I just, man, it's my getaway. And I don't need somebody there to be with me to have, to enjoy that peace and quiet and listen to some tones. But I'll tell you, Brian, and this is no kidding, I love hunting with people new to the hobby. And I know where you're coming from. A lot of people don't, but man, to see the reaction when they find their first relic or first silver or, whatever it is, man, you will not find anybody more passionate about the hobby than somebody new finding something great.
I totally agree with that, and I love that. I love it at group hunts. I love it at common places, but I'm a little more hesitant at seeing that in one of my spots. A new person. A new person. I've been totally burnt some kind of raw a number of times locally, so I tend, to not. I tend to, if it's somebody new and I want to take them somewhere, I tend to take them somewhere more public, than I will one of my Civil War spots,
Mm. I think
I don't mean I'm cheesy about it, but that's just the way it is.
You're right. I think people new to the hobby are also more likely to burn you because they're new. They want to find everything that maybe they don't know how to research it. Man, I've been there. I know exactly what you're talking about.
That first 2 years, if you're into it, you're into it. You're hardcore. You want to go out every day. Yeah. You're not waiting on that dude to get out of work. You ready to go find something.
Yep. Yeah.
So I can totally understand that. I was there, and now I kind of understand. When I first got into it, I was a little like, man, these old heads are buttholes, and and now it's like I'm the guy.
Mm-hmm. You get burned even one time, and you're like, I'm done with this, But I'll still take them out to places, and I had a guy contact me years ago. We've been friends for years, and he was really into metal detecting. And Donnie, I talked to Donnie 2-3 times a week. Great guy, but that guy is like, I got this place and this place and this place, and I know this place, and man, he knew everybody. He lived in the area all of his life, and that guy got us tons of permission. And that was really cool. But most of the time, the newbies, they don't know where to go. They want your help, and I don't mind, but you got to be real careful with some of them. And I got. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I got massively toasted on some insanely historical sites. One being in Appomattox, which was property adjacent to Appomattox Courthouse, and I took a newbie there. He begged me, and I took him there. I got the permission. Well, I didn't get the permission. He said, I'm going to ask my brother, because I hadn't been there in years. And he said, okay, I'll ask my brother. I'll come back in a few more days. And, I had to work. This was like on the weekend. So the guy came back in a couple of days while I was at work and finished off that permission. And he was up there every day that week, the whole summer. And they finally closed the gates on it and said, we can't tolerate it. Hunting season came around, and he was still pounding. I never hunted the spot with him once.
Oh,
never.
No.
The hunting season came around, and he kept pounding it every day, and they closed the gates on it. And they, like I said, this was pretty much the Battle of Appomattox Courthouse.
Oh,
it was just a J. So, that hurt me, man. That kind of burnt me there and kind of put me on reserve for a good long while.
Yeah, I've had some real.
But not everybody's like that.
Yeah. Oh no, not. I mean, Donnie grew up arrowhead hunting, so he knew a bunch of places. He didn't know how to overlay or anything else, but he knew all the property owners, and he knew a lot of places where he'd found glass, pottery, and brick while he was arrowhead hunting, and he'd have permission for a couple thousand acres. Well, I could overlay it and find other houses, but sometimes he knew of sites on them. And I miss hunting with Donnie. Yeah. Donnie's a good guy, and I miss him. He's a good dude. And all my Ohio guys, there's a lot of great people in Ohio. I'd sure like to go. Matt, we had to pack up one weekend and just go pay him a visit. I got his address. Here's a funny story.
I'm down.
Here's a funny story for you. I made him up a pair of headphones. Been telling him forever I was going to send him a pair of headphones. I finally did it, and I'm like, what's your address? We were in Messenger. It took days for me to get – we'd get to talking about something else, and I'm like, you don't want me down. You're afraid I'm going to pack up and come down there, aren't you? Come home, I'm sitting on the couch with a beer in my hand from his fridge and hanging out with the kids, got all of his detectors out, groping them and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, that might have to happen now just since you took so long. Uh-huh.
See, I've never had anybody burn me thus far ever. And but, I guess, I don't know. I don't know if, well, I guess if it was a spot where you couldn't get out and they was just out there pounding it every day, that would really upset me. But I don't know. I feel like I'm confident in my skills of detecting, and then if they're maybe not as in tune with their machine or as good of a detectorist, then maybe that. See, I don't know that it would bother me because I always can find another spot. And although I probably wouldn't take them back out metal detecting again, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, when you're talking about a field site, I mean, when you're talking, you do a lot of house sites and stuff like that. To lose one house site's no big deal, or to lose.
Yeah, and there's a difference in what I'm hunting versus, and I'd like to be hunting more fields, and I'm definitely going to be in more fields this fall. But so there's a big difference. I mean, houses are a dime a dozen. I can find tons of houses and get permissions on. So, that's a big difference. And if you find a real nice field site that. And then someone comes and cleans it out for you while you can't go. That would be pretty aggravating, I would imagine.
Right. Or somebody, take several field sites or go get permission behind your back when you already had permission and stuff like that. It really sucks.
Kind of rough.
Yeah. What are you guys talking about in chat? What'd I miss?
They're talking about you, Mike.
A nestler?
We're talking about Barbara mentioned a nestler bullet she dug, which is pretty rare. We got into bullets somehow. I think Greg dug our shots or something, and we kind of got into that kick.
I gotcha. Very cool. Hey Brian, I know you're all weird about it, but what's going on in Diggers Den right now?
Diggers Den is ever evolving, man. It's I don't know.
I don't know, he said.
We got some specials, Diggers Den it does its thing.
Right. Tell me about them
It's
specials.
evolving.
Man. Tell me about them specials.
There's always specials if you call us, but there's some some Garrett specials. We got the AT Max right now with the free Pro Pointer Z Link and the Ace 400 with the discounted Pro Pointer 2, which I think is like $79 knocked off of the Pro Pointer 2. So that's a good package. And I don't know, the new releases and all that mess going on right now. It's pretty exciting. I'm looking forward to this, seeing this new Deus come out.
Yeah.
And how that thing is going to play out. Kind of excited about that. Well, not Deus, it's an XP product, but
yeah, but Bill Marsh,
things going on.
Bill Marsh said, cool, 100% off when we mention all metal mode on the phone. Yep, 100%.
Exactly. That's
$110 off.
what I heard. The Pro Pointer AT.
Yep, no, 110% off, Bill. You got it wrong. Yeah, it's funny. What's coming in the future? We got any future plans or anything we can talk about, or?
No, nothing I can really talk about, really. Nothing immediately. I think the new year is going to bring a lot of interesting stuff, but.
Oh, I'm sorry. I wanted to ask you a couple things. I wanted to talk about a couple things with you. What do you think about that new, the announcements from Macro Nocta this weekend? Did you see that? What's the one called? The Amphibio. Did you see that?
Yeah, I've seen it. I've read bits and pieces on it. I really didn't get the hard paperwork on it, but it looks like a souped up macro cruiser.
Mm-hmm.
I like the way the elbow piece on it is, and I'm really more curious about the functions. I really don't have any idea on how that thing's going to run yet, but I don't know. It looks pretty exciting.
Yeah, for
my
sure.
My guess is it's like a impact, a waterproof impact, basically.
Yeah,
probably lighter.
Yeah, right. I think that's pretty cool. I think who knows how it will operate, but that Simplex.
Simplex. Now that looks pretty interesting.
Right?
Wireless, it's wireless capabilities, waterproof, and cheap, and very easy to use.
With a big double D coil. Did you see that? Looks like a big 11.
Yeah, I think he said it was 11-inch double D.
Yeah, it's got an 11-inch double D on it.
Yeah, so and the price tag is insane for something with wireless capabilities and waterproof.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's going to be hot.
They're talking like $250 to like $330. One of them's going to be like $250, and the other one's going to be like $330 or something. That's like retail. Is that retail?
I don't know if it's retail or not. I don't think they've actually released the numbers on it yet.
Yeah.
But I mean, for those
who
hunting, yeah, exactly. I mean, if you hunt in the water, you don't need a lot of features for hunting in the water. I mean, there's some creeks and stuff with those mineralized rocks that'll catch you and throw your machine all off. But for under $300 to have a waterproof machine, that's going to be hot next year.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. If it works as good as it looks, that's going to take over the number one spot at entry level all day long.
Oh, for sure.
Now that's we'll see. We'll see. Who knows?
Yeah,
but man, it's a sharp.
Still a lot more to find out about that.
Oh yeah. And did you hear?
It looks like a hybrid between the Quest and the EQ. The style of it.
It does. Exactly.
And it's all backlit and everything too, I believe.
I'm not sure about that. I didn't get a real good look at that. But yeah, I think, you know what? I think in the video I saw, I think it was backlit. I think you're right. I'm not positive. Now, did you hear the announcement on the detector yet to be named?
The multi-frequency?
Yeah, running simultaneously.
The simultaneous, yeah.
That's really cool.
I love that strategy. I love the fact that they want everybody's input on what they want in a machine, because they can take all that and just wrap it into one package and give everybody what they want. That's a hell of a strategy. If it works, if they can pull it off.
Yeah, right. If they can pull it off. I'm going to sit down and take some notes, as I'm thinking about them, because I've already thought of a couple things I think could be great additions. Like my multi-cruiser, as much as I love it, I would love to see more tones. You got 2, 3, and 4, and I'd like to see some different tones. I'd like to see. You can't beat a Mind Lab for tones. I love that their tones and some different things. So I'm going to definitely sit down and put some out there. Did you see all the stuff with airmetaldetectors.com? All over Facebook and stuff now.
I've been watching them for about a year. Mm-hmm. I can't lie to you. I can't get past the structure of that. Mm-hmm. I can't get past the structure of that machine.
That seafoam green, and then it looks like a 1950s wing for your armrest.
Yeah, a warhead wing or something off of an airplane in the back. I can't. I just can't get past that. I can't lie to you, but I don't know. It's interesting technology, but they've actually been. I know I've seen them around for at least a year, and everybody has kind of ragged on them about the whole look of the machine, but yet they've never took that into account.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's it's definitely a funny looking little machine.
It kind of cracks me up.
I don't know if it works. Who cares what it looks like, right?
Right, exactly. That's what I was going to say. Like I've heard recently, people are making fun of the name Amphibio and that color, that seafoam green and this and that on this. I don't care if it's pink with purple polka dots. If it works, I'll run it. I don't take into account. I don't take a lot of things into account if it performs. That's I can get through and over a lot.
Well, see, here's where my honesty comes from as a dealer. If you want honesty from Brian, just ask a question, and you're going to get it.
Right.
Marketing, I love a machine. If it works, hell, I'll use it. Selling a machine, there's people that won't buy a machine because it's the name. There's people who won't buy a machine because of the way it looks.
Yep, I'm one of them.
Yeah.
It's some people buy a machine, they don't know how to use it, but they just think it looks cool.
Did you see pictures? Did you see pictures of the guy that I think he owns? That detector fits him perfect. I mean, he was
absolutely.
He looks like a crazy.
He was very talkative too.
Right? I don't understand what he was saying. I'll be honest with you. I'm just kind of laughed and
Yeah, he didn't either.
No, he didn't either. No. He tried though. It was cool. I liked it. I'm with you though, man. I mean, when I seen the detector, I thought about a guy like me out in the woods of West Virginia swinging that and coming across somebody and they're, a couple of hillbillies laughing their heads off.
Yeah, they would for sure. They would. A purple beard guy with a crazy looking machine like that.
Oh yeah, I'm not judging. Bill said that with purple beard. I'm not judging. I think the guy looks. I've said it. If I can make it to detectable and he's there, him and I are getting a beer together. I got to sit down and drink a beer with that character.
Yeah.
I'm not judging, but the detector is a little funky. I don't know why he didn't just do black and why he made the...
Oh, yeah. Do something different with the arm, the elbow piece at least. You could keep your aquamarine or whatever color that is. But
yeah, it looks like a wing off a 50s,
scene,
like a World War II. It just reminds me of like a World War II wing or something.
Yeah.
Kind of funky looking, man. It's funny. Yeah. Good times. So,
I don't...
Go ahead, sorry.
No, I didn't have nothing, bro.
I know since we had you on last... Go ahead, Matt.
I was just going to say, I'd imagine it's going to be a tough sell. I'm sure there's a lot of people like myself that I demand not only performance out of the machine, but aesthetically it's got to be there too. And if it's not, I mean, I got to pass sometimes on stuff just because. But I'm a sucker for bright, shiny packaging too. So that's. But I don't know. I mean, I'd have to imagine it'd make it tough to sell. And I think as a designer, and sometimes you don't want to conform. You want to do your own thing. But at the end of the day, you got to know your customer base. And if that's what the market demands, then it's keep your company afloat. You might have to make some changes.
What cracks me up when I seen it, I just thought, black really works in this hobby. And this guy comes out with like a seafoam green and a wing off the back. And I'm like, damn, I need to sit down and have a beer with that guy, man.
A 57 Chevy. It looks like a 57 Chevy.
Yeah, got wings off the back like that. Bill said it looks like a 52 Nash Rambler. That's funny. Yeah. Yeah, I'd love to take that on a relic hunt down in Virginia or West Virginia. Show up with that thing. Oh, man.
Yeah, that'd be a trip.
You're liable to get beat up. Mm-hmm.
But all that being said, is that means that the manufacturer, the person putting that product out, has enough faith in their product that
exactly,
even as crazy as it looks, they're confident that it's good enough that people will buy it. So it'd be interesting to see. I'd like to see how some of those things perform.
I think it's either.
Yeah, I would like to try it.
I think that hooking up to your phone is either going to be a quick fad or the wave of the future. And I'm not sure yet which, but I think it's one or the other. I do.
And you have to question lag using Bluetooth technology.
Is it using Bluetooth?
Yeah.
Is it?
It's Bluetooth. That's what they say it.
Okay. Yeah, Bluetooth is a little slow. I don't know. I'd like to get my hands on one and try it. I would so sport that Aquaphone.
Yeah, it'd be definitely interesting to see.
I would love to try.
Mm-hmm. You take it to some hunt down in Virginia? Mm-hmm. That'd be me all day long.
Nah.
I'd get laughed out of the place, wouldn't I? Probably get asked to leave. No doubt. What else, guys?
You might have to get some hydro dipping on. Take it and hydro dip it, and then
right,
be good to go.
Yeah, there you go. What do you think about Gypsy? What do you think about Gypsy on Monday nights now?
Oh, I love Gypsy on that. She's good people for sure, man.
I love Gypsy. Now, if we could just get a new host for that show, we'd be in great shape.
I was just getting ready to say that she's a lot better than our last host, our co-host. For sure.
Yeah, I don't know the guy, but we'll have to see.
No, I love having you on and enjoy doing the show with you, and but I'm glad to get another show up and going, and I'm glad, man. Her and I that's what I love about this hobby, man. The people you connect with and talk to, and I love it. That's why I saw, today that call was a sale for a detector, and man, that guy was just so cool. It made my day, and I like that. That's why I do this. The people you meet. I mean, me and Gypsy, her and I were talking one day. a couple days ago, a week ago, and she's like, I feel like we've been friends forever. We just met, and it was the same deal with Matt. It's like, oh, that's like my long lost brother right there. It's cool when you meet.
I'll tell you, Mike, it was very weird when I first met you. It was it was one of those deals like, man, I feel like I've known you forever, and I, it was kind of strange. And then, we stopped at your mom's house there, and you're like, oh, come on in, and I'm like, but yeah, it's very, very weird. Like I don't meet a lot of people that are just on the same wavelength with the way my brain operates on a regular basis. So,
that scares me. Don't say that. Hey, take that back immediately.
Yeah, I'll have to reevaluate just.
Yeah. Oh man, my family's good hillbillies. I don't know if I'd say hillbilly. We're just good people, man. Come on in, take your shoes off. Let's eat some dinner. Yeah. That's how we are.
And then your mom says, "Oh, what? You have some? I think it was enchiladas or something." I'm like, no, I'm good. It's like, oh no, we got plenty. I'm like, that's just good people, man.
Yeah,
that's good people.
My mama's good people for sure. And if you missed enchilada night, man, you missed a lot. My mama makes some good enchiladas. Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Brian.
Gypsy, what I like about her is, she really doesn't have no motive for what she does. She has a passion for being out there and searching and being part of the world and nature, and it's metal detecting at its purest.
That's the same thing I told her. You get a sense of it's real. It's not.
She's not a YouTuber. She's not a.
Yeah.
She's just a detectorist, and she just incorporates that into YouTube, and it's pure. A lot of people, some people YouTube for likes, and they just, they're out for numbers, but it's her passion.
Yeah.
You know who she reminds me of? Mike. Tim.
Kim.
Tim. Tim had a moment in his life that changed his life.
Tim. I thought you were saying Kim. Yeah, Tim.
Yeah,
Tim.
no, Tim. And he took the metal detecting, and it just gave him a place to go, to keep his life into perspective, and
I think
that whole situation kind of reminds me, of Tim, and what he does,
And she's such what you think of as like a Southern, she's got she's such a sweetheart. And, I don't refer to her. I try to stay away from woman detectors, female, because, I kind of hate to put that label on a woman, but, she does have that Southern charm to her. She's just a sweetheart, but
oh yeah,
I don't she's a detectorist, and she's real deal, and she's out there doing it and finding it, and I'm really excited. I feel like things are coming together. I'm glad Matt could move to Tuesday nights and was cool about that, and like I've said recently, I kind of, man, where I'm at, I go out and find clad and stuff, and I've even been to some old sites and some good stuff, and I'm just not. So I'm living right now. I'm living more through doing the podcast and writing articles than I am anything. But I'm still in it because of that. Like, I'm coming back next month, and part of when we're choosing to come back is because the field should be rid of crops. Man, I miss Ohio so bad. I miss the getting out and field hunting and stuff, and but I get to live through this right now, and it helps. It helps. Good times.
Well, anytime you and Matt want to come over here and dig some Civil War bullets, you just give me a holler, man. We'll make it a day.
I'd love to sometime.
Don't you worry. As soon as I come up with a reason to hit that part of
the East Coast.
It's not out of some. It's in some territory I cover at work, so as soon as I get the right opportunities, I'll be out, man.
You just got to hit it at the right time of the year, because once those crops are gone, just like anywhere, that's my time to fly, which is really soon.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. I was going to say, too, if you ever want to come up to Ohio when I'm back, matter of fact, I was going to tell you, I don't know if the crops will be out yet and stuff, but I don't know what I know it's probably hard for you to get away, but if you want to come up for a couple of days, man, come up, me and Matt will get you out. And I know you ain't going to find Civil War and stuff, but we hit some pretty cool stuff. Well, we actually
I don't. Go ahead.
I just say we hit Civil War buttons now and then. They brought them home after the war, brought them coats home and stuff. So, yeah, we do find it now and then. I got a few from Ohio for sure, but
the Civil War is kind of where my heart is, but I will literally hunt anything. I mean, I can get home, my wife will go to work, and I'll take the kids and hit a tot lot 2 or 3 days after a week. I don't care. I just got to get out and swing and put some headphones on and drown whatever happened that day out,
Right.
So, yeah, but I don't know. Civil War, because I'm here, it's and once you dive into the research of it, I don't know. It's something weird about it. It's kind of like when you found, what was you talking about on the podcast? You found, was it a ring? And you said you seen the little boys run across the field?
I found a button.
Oh, a button. Yeah, it was a button. It's kind of like that. It's like you can envision who was there. Like I'll find one little spot of primers for a gun where they was just sitting there shooting, and it'll be like 10 primers just sitting there on the ground, and you'd have to imagine this guy kneeling down and shooting at cannons firing at him,
Right.
I don't know. It's just something about it. It's awesome.
Yeah, I agree. That's why I love the history. Something that I've never understood quite, and I know there's not as many places and stuff, but why is the Civil War so big in metal detecting, but rarely do you hear anything about Revolutionary War? Because there's some good relics and stuff associated with the, and it's probably due to harder to research and all that stuff.
Yeah. I've never dug one thing Revolutionary War. Ever.
And you're in the area for it.
It's a couple hours away.
Is it?
It's not in my direct area, but it's never really been my focus. And I'm dying to dig something Revolutionary War. Musket balls or whatever. That's like next on my list. I would love to get into some Revolutionary.
Yeah, that's way more. I mean, don't get me wrong, Civil War stuff's really exciting to me, but you just don't. I mean, I have to assume over the years, all the magazines and stuff, I've only read a couple articles on Revolutionary War artifacts, and rarely do you see them. And it's just always kind of been like, that kind of surprises me. Why is the Civil War, I mean, there's Civil War shows and hunts and, all these things. And you don't hear about the Revolutionary War, man. You give me a British button from Revolutionary War, or could you imagine finding a USA button? That's on my bucket list right there. Some of that stuff, and rarely do you see it.
Maybe they just didn't shoot off as much in the Revolutionary War as the Civil War, because the Civil War for 4 years, all they did was fight constantly. So I don't know. Maybe it's just more out there to find of the Civil War than it is the Revolutionary War.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Probably, I'm sure. I mean, it wasn't nearly as big of a conflict for sure, but I would think it would make it that more elusive and people going after it that much more. And you just really don't see that. You just don't see it.
Yeah.
But anything else? You got anything else good to tell us?
Nothing that I'm not, that I'm keeping secret right now, but you know, there's things in the making.
Good deal. All right, I sold a Vaquero tonight to Matt, sucker.
Oh, wait a second.
Man, they're good.
I think it was Brian that sold it.
Oh, did Brian sell it? Yeah, I was listening. Dang it!
No commission for you.
Hey, it's a good detector, man. I think you'll like that for relic hunting. I really do. I think you should get one. If you guys are into Tesoros, we carry Tesoros. We've been carrying them for a little bit. I'm telling you, you've heard Frank on here and the mods he can do, and you've heard me talk about him since I started the show, how much I like Tesoros. So, of course, we carry everything else, right? Well, what all do we carry? Can you even name it all?
Nah, I mean, we pretty much carry everything. Is it on the site? No. You know, and that's kind of my fault because I work a full-time job and raise 4 kids in the evening and amongst many other things. And I have the world's worst internet here at my house because I live in the woods. So I don't get everything on there. I don't get bundles and all that mess. If you want a bundle, give me a holler. Eventually we'll get bundles on there. But, you know, it's all coming together. It's been a long ride, but, you know, it's been a fun ride. I enjoyed doing the Diggers Den, you know.
Yeah. Oh, it shows. That's why I was so excited to hook up with you. You were so you're passionate about it, just like me and Matt and Gypsy and all the work you put into it. You're definitely not doing it for money. There's definitely not much money to be made.
It definitely ain't. It's a labor of love for sure, man. But I just enjoy the people more than anything, you know, the customers and the interaction you get from everybody.
Yeah,
you know, it ain't always about making money.
No, it is a lot of fun. It is, and like Brian said, we carry a lot of stuff that you're not going to find on the website. If you're interested in something, get a hold of us. I love when people call me. I do, but you know, if you want to, I also like that. If you come in through Diggers Den Facebook page, Digger Den Metal Detectors, not only will one of us respond almost instantly, unless it's like the middle of the night, we can both help you out. You know, if you want something that I haven't used, I don't really know if there's much out there on the market that one of us hasn't at least used. You know, and that's another great thing that I think we have to offer is we've used it. There's not much. So if you're interested, you know, we can, if you go through Diggers Den, one of us will answer your question, get on it, and help you out.
Yep, get on the Facebook page, check out that response time. and the customer reviews, you know, and I never pay for customer reviews. I never ask anybody to go on there and put a review, you know, that's not my style. You know, if people go on there and post something, that's all on them. So it's all natural.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's all I got. You guys got anything left to say?
I just want to say that I want to thank Rudis again once more for sending me out a new board for my machine. And kind of a little late. I've been in the process of getting that installed for months now, and just finally got around to doing it myself. And luckily everything went well. Although I turned it on, and I'm like, I called Mike up and I said, "Man, we got a problem." I said I got my machine running, but it's in the wrong language, and I had forgot that there was a language setting in there, and so all was good. I'm very happy about that, and that makes me super excited because now I've got the new board, and it has a few different things, specifically the depth and some other stuff, how it reads that, and with pinpointing. So it's should be very exciting. I'm looking forward to really putting that machine through its test this fall, and same with the Impact and the Cruiser and whatnot, and then apparently a Vaquero as well.
You sucker.
You two and your Ruduses.
Oh, man, I'm telling you, man, them Ruduses
How do y'all even get a Rudus? How do you even get a Rudus?
It ain't easy.
Magic.
Yeah, it's magic.
You pay a lot for someone to ship one over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I've tested that Rudus. Like I said, when I tested it in my yard, which unfortunately I shredded my paper with all my results on it when I was marking that stuff. But I don't know. I'm telling you, I feel like that machine is going to be ridiculously potent. It's gonna pull a lot of mid-range signals out of the ground that I would miss for sure with my Mind Lab stuff. No doubt.
The VDI goes to 120 on that detector.
Oh, wow.
You got some real nice separation, man. Real nice separation. And then it's got a line. If it's a good solid signal, it'll be almost straight up and down. If it's a little curvy, it might be deep. It might be questionable. If it's like spread out across the screen, it's junk.
Oh, so it's got a graph?
Yeah, it's got a graph too, man. 120.
Okay.
It's got reactivity. You can make that thing sound like a machine gun on 2 targets. You can get it to
they should just call it machine gun mode because it becomes so fast when you turn that reactivity up. It's insane.
You can set it for hot rocks, which at neutral they say is pretty good. But if you do come into a situation with high iron and hot rocks, you can go negative a little bit, and it'll help you. You can change the sounds, the tones, each individually, or you can do blocks. However you want, you can change that thing to sound like whatever you could imagine.
Talk to them more.
Well, from my understanding, the problem is that thing. It's the Alder 71 because it has 71 different frequencies you can run. And where they've ran into the problem is they can't. They can. You gotta buy a license for each frequency, and where they're running, some of the frequencies are taken. They're filled up. You can't go on that frequency at all, and then it'll free up, and then another one will be down. So they can't get it to the United States because of that. But I'm telling you, man, I think you can get one here in the United States shipped over with shipping and everything. You're looking at like $800, and it is a hot detector. I'm not telling anybody to go out there and buy from England and stuff. I don't know. That's a little bit scary to spend $800 like that. But man, I wish they could get that here because that thing is so.
I got a hobby. I'll trade you.
Oh, that ain't fair. I mean, I couldn't get rid of my Rudus. There's no way I could.
I'll send a Mojave over there. You send a Rudus over here.
I need a Mojave bad. I got to try one out sometime. But
you need a Rudus bad.
Oh, I couldn't get rid of my Rudus. I'm telling you. I took it out the other day, park hunting, and everything was no deeper than 4 inches. But man, that thing quarter was coming up 106. A dime was like 98. A penny was like 93. You talk about a nice spread. And not only that, man, when it hits a quarter, it's 106, maybe 107. I took it out in my little test bed where I've got just 3 dimes buried, 6, 8, and 10 inches. I can hit that 10-inch with that machine running as stable as can be. I can hit that. I can hit. Yeah, I'm telling you, man. I haven't messed with it.
And it's just there's so much separation.
Mm-hmm.
That's what makes it so cool in my mind. And I've got a lot of spots that I know there should be. I would expect to find more, especially mid-range stuff, and whether it be jewelry or pins or stuff like that. And that machine, just with the amount of separation. And I've tested in my yard, I tested like regular pop tabs, older pull tabs, beaver tail, square tabs, bigger, it separates all that stuff up against gold rings and silver rings and stuff. Like, I mean, it's I mean, they're pretty spot on every time. I didn't do any serious testing at ridiculous depths, but I mean, if there's a target in that probably 5 to 8 inch range, I mean, it's going to do a darn nice job of separating that and just really weeding through iron because it's just so fast I mean, you can really get through some stuff. So, I mean, obviously, I haven't used the machine to its fullest potential yet and really put it through its paces, but from what I can see with the amount of time I have put on it, I can only assume that it's going to be amazing.
I'll tell you, Brian, when I watch YouTube videos, it's kind of like don't believe anything you hear and half of what you see. I know there's a lot of misinformation, but one of the videos I saw was a guy who very much likes his XP Deus, okay? And
yeah.
And it was he went back to a field site with his Rudis, and he's hitting stuff left and right. And he said, "I've hit this really good with my Deus." And he said, "This really doesn't." He goes, "Don't get me wrong, I love my Deus," but he said, "This really doesn't surprise me because it's such a good detector on mass targets." And everything he was finding, like he would dig up and he'd be like, "See, right next to it, there's a piece of iron. Right next to it's this or that, or two targets." He goes, "Man, that's what's so special about the Rudis." And it is, man. It is a really good. I don't know why I talk about it so much. You can't even get it here in the United States, but it is.
Well, one thing, Mike, I do want to mention specifically about that machine is that it reminds me somewhat of kind of the Deus in that you need to know and understand what the machine's doing. And it's got a really nice user interface. It's pretty straightforward, but it's a machine that you got to have your settings in the right place to get the most out of it. I mean, so, would I recommend it for someone who's extremely new to metal detecting? Probably not, but
I disagree a little bit.
Definitely.
I disagree.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
You take it out. Well, let me. It's definitely one to get the most out of it. You're going to want to learn it, but I don't care what you use. You should learn it. But you can take it out of the box and you can put it in Big Silver, General Search.
Yeah.
You can put it in Fast, and you're gonna. I mean, it's going to cover pretty much everything you need. I mean, there's set
absolutely.
programs.
Are you going to? Yeah, you're going to find stuff, no doubt. I mean, and you're going to find a lot of good stuff. But I just think it's one of those machines that the more you understand it
yes. Oh, I agree, 100%.
It's going to be explosive.
Yeah, you learn what those settings do and how to use them and when, and you're going to optimize it for each and every site, for sure. But you can also take it right out of the box and get great performance on the standard programs, standard tones, everything. Yep. Very cool. And nobody's talking.
I'm sorry. I was talking away. I had my phone was on mute. One other thing is like you got 1 million tones on that thing too. So if you want to set it up to sound exactly like an E-track, no problem. You can do it. You can make that thing sound however you want, which is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. It hasn't made its way over here yet.
You can assign a tone, I think, for each and every...
For every point.
For every point. 120 tones, you can do blocks. You could do blocks, and like, let's say you wanted iron real low, and then you wanted up to, foil and pull tab a little bit higher, and then you wanted Indian heads to $half. You wanted them higher and higher, or each one stepped up. Or you wanted to come in and lower Indian. I mean, you can just, it's limitless of how you can set up the tone range.
It's pretty slick.
Bill's asking, is it waterproof? No, they're working on a waterproof version now that I think will have different software, a little bit different software, but it'll be real close to the 71. Yeah, I don't know. Did we say something about it being waterproof? Because couple people. No, it's not waterproof, guys.
It's not waterproof, no.
And something else I like, the handle. It's a straight shaft from the arm cuff to the handle, and after the handle it goes into an S shaft. And I like that now you can replace that S shaft section with a straight shaft they're offering, because I love a straight shaft, man. Just easier and more comfortable.
Super lightweight too. It's got a backlight. I just think it's a beautiful design machine, and for what it has to offer, it's a shame that it's not available in the U.S. right now. But
yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. Okay.
But anyhow, let's get. That's enough of that subject. But yeah, I'm happy I got it up and running.
Right, good. I'm excited to see what you find. I don't have money like Matt. I don't have Matt gold money. I've got Mike silver.
I don't have gold money. I just don't spend my money wisely sometimes.
So I can't test with gold. We don't own any gold. I adorn Steph in silver, not gold. So I don't have any gold to test it out with. But good times. Well, guys, anything, Dad? We've been at it an hour and a half. I'm ready to go if you guys are, unless you got something to say, something to talk about.
No, that was my only excitement. What's that?
What was you saying, Brian?
Oh, I said I'm good.
Okay.
Hey, I'm at the point where I can talk all night, so
Hey, if you guys stories, throw them out there, man. We'll listen.
We could save some for another day.
Yeah, I'd love to have you back another day, man.
Yeah.
I do want to say, if you're in the market for a metal detector, don't forget, get a hold of us, mention the show, and you get 110% off on whatever.
110% off.
Yeah, 110%.
And make sure you
Mike will personally fly out to your house and show you how to use it.
Yep. There you go.
And shipping is $8.99. Not $8.99, $899.
Yeah. 110%, but every machine's $8.99, or the shipping's $8.99 and up.
Exactly.
Good idea. That's the way we do it. Yeah, we give machines away, but shipping's crazy from Virginia. Crazy. All right, guys, let's wrap it up. I think a great show. It's always fun talking to you, Brian. And Matt, I kind of missed you last night. I'm not going to lie, but I'm excited for a little change and all that. So, yeah, good times. I think good things are coming, guys. I do. Feeling good about everything. Oh, yeah,
for sure. There's some good stuff coming in the pipeline, trust me.
Yep. Yes, there is. Definitely want to stay tuned and check out our shows each week. We got some good stuff coming. All of us do, I think. I know Matt's got a new Vaquero he can talk about soon.
Oh yeah, we'll be talking about that, and real soon, as soon as I finish up cleaning up my office, which has been an ongoing struggle for me. It seems like every time I clean one thing, I find something I forgot I had, and then I go off on another tangent like usual. But real soon I'm going to be throwing some more towels and stuff together and sublimating some more stuff, Mike, and I'll have to send you down some stuff and some shirts. And
I'd love that, man.
Yeah, once I get some stuff made up, maybe we'll do a giveaway, and I'll give away some like all metal mode towels or something like that, or Diggers Den towels or whatever.
I want something that says Diggers Den on it with the logo. I love the logo. I need something with Diggers Den.
Yeah, no, so do I.
Right.
And those towels I made were I thought they were good.
Hey, Matt, put me down with where you got those leg pouch deal at.
To get them cheap, you can buy them out of China.
Oh, really? Well,
that's where I bought mine. So if you go on,
I love it.
That's where I got mine. I fell in love with those things, and I ended up buying a bunch of them. And I get the ones I bought, I get out of China just because I can get them for anywhere from $4 to $6 a piece. And now that, assuming they haven't went up in price, they might have, depending on how popular they've been. But and those things are just amazing. I love those pouches, and I think they look good when you put some logos on them. They look really nice, and the only downside is you got to wait. It takes usually a month to get that stuff in sometimes. But that is what it is.
I love it though. I used it one time and I got so.
Yeah, when Matt told me they were out of China, I was a little concerned, but I like them. They really hold up. Now I don't have a pouch anymore. I gave mine to my stepson. Hint, 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 hint. Hint.
Well, don't worry. I'll send you one soon because I got to send some other stuff down as soon as I track down my stupid cameras. When I eventually come across those, which has got to be sometime soon. I'm running out of places to look in my house. So,
man.
They're going to be turning up real soon here.
Good deal. Good deal. All right, guys. Let's call it a night. I'm ready. I'm tired. Need some rest from that boy. It's been nice. It's nice to get away from that boy, though. I ain't gonna lie. Love him to death. All right, guys, let's wrap it up.
All right, we'll see you guys. Brian, have a good one.
All right. You too,
Brian,
Matt. Have a good one, buddy.
Thanks for coming on, too. We appreciate it. Good night.
Good night.
There you have it. Another show. I enjoy it. I like Brian a lot. I get to talk to him and really got to know him, and just a great guy, fun guy. Bill's asking which pouch. I'll get a hold of you, Bill. I'll talk to you about that. And good night, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it. Good night. Thanks.
The All Metal Mode podcast is sponsored by Diggers Den. If you are looking for a metal detector, get in touch with Mike or Brian. Together, they have years of experience with many different brands and models. They also truly enjoy what they do. You can contact them through Facebook at Diggers Den, visit the website at dddetectors.com, or give Mike a call. He makes it sound like it's so hard raising our boy, but trust me, he has time. 937-414-4578.